Welcome back to the Lightspeed Social Agency YouTube channel. I am sitting down today with Chris Gentry from my service area because he has made a tool that is being used pretty widely in the bin cleaning industry, like cleaning trash cans, that has super practical applications for the lawn care industry. And he has been on Naylor Taliaferro's podcast, the Lawn Care Rookie podcast. So I wanted to sit down with him. He reached out after I was on the podcast to see if we could connect and talk about what they're doing at my service area. And when I saw the tool in action on a website, I knew that we need to talk to lawn care business owners about how this works. Because Chris, do you want to just tell them what it does? We'll put in a clip of it working too.
Sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. So my service area was built because I had a problem. I bought a bin cleaning business here in Charleston a couple years ago, next month actually. And when I took it over, I said, okay, I'm just going to run it for 3 months, get an understanding of how everything works, the customer layout, the territories, what have you. And what I found was that I had nothing to use where I could filter out requests based on a certain address. I didn't need a zip code filter because zip code filters are too broad, and I service every zip code around the Charleston area. And so that's how my service area came about. In the bin cleaning business, just like in the lawn care, there are a lot of similarities to these businesses because it's all about how tight your routes can be, route density, how efficient you can be in your business. And especially today, we're on a Monday morning and I read one of the headlines here in Charleston, gas went up 40 cents over the weekend here in Charleston.
Ouch.
It is crazy. But so back to what my service area does is, and the reason why I built it is to create a profitable service area on the back end. So when I know that somebody comes to my website and they click on, request service, the MSA or the My Service Area window pops up and says, hey, before we go any further, let's be respectful of your time and our time. It doesn't say that, but that's the meaning of it. Enter in your address and let's see if we service your address. They enter in their address. If they're in the territory that I built on the back end of MSA or My Service Area, they get through. If they're not in the territory or outside the territory, it says, hey, sorry, we don't service your address at this time. Please, leave us your email address and we'll follow up with you. So now I know every time I get a request, and I use Jobber, every time I get a request in Jobber, I know that is a profitable request. I don't have to take the time to follow up with them and say, hey, sorry, I don't service your address. Or if I had the buy now in the bin cleaning world, there are a lot of bin cleaners that you can actually do the transaction. You can buy the service online. Well, now I'm not refunding that money and I'm losing out, that 30 cents plus whatever the 2.9 transaction fee seems to be average, and that time. So, that it's about creating efficiency, and especially in today's market and where we are, it's just a simple little tool. It's like a secretary for your website.
Yeah, so the way that I see the workflow go in lawn care, and the lawn care guys listening know this, is usually you get that estimate request in. If you have a very sophisticated website for your lawn care business, then there might be that option to go ahead and buy online. It just depends on what CRM you're using, if that's a possibility for your business. But then a lot of them, once you have that estimate request kicked in, you might complete the estimate, send it out, but then you're reaching out to call someone. And there may not have been, a lot of people have a pretty robust office process where someone in the office checks that address against the service area and confirms it. But you have a chance that estimate just gets made, sent out, someone wants to accept it and get started, and then someone calls them and realizes that they're not in the service area. And you've wasted so much administrative time that tell us a little bit about the pricing of My Service Area so that people can put kind of that ROI right in their head.
Sure. Well, real quick though, for a good example, Jason Creel, excuse me, at Alabama Lawn Pros, he uses it, and if he has it attached in my service area attaches to buttons. So get a quote, get a free estimate, request service. It's a line of code you add to your website, and you attaches the button. The pricing, we've got 3 tiers. We've got a very generous free tier, which allows you to create a region. You get, I think it's 50 searches, address searches a month. The next tier up is like $9 a month. The highest tier up is $25 a month. And it's just, the couple of difference there, or the kind of the core differences, are the monthly searches and the regions that you can build, because you can build unlimited regions within my service area. Like one of our bin cleaners in San Francisco has 132 different regions.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah, it's crazy though to look at all his data.
Yeah, but then even looking at that middle tier, which I think businesses bringing in more than 50 leads a month, hopefully you've got somebody in the office handling that for you. I know a lot of guys try to stay on it as long as they can. I would encourage you to get off the truck working on the business and try to separate yourself from some of those office tasks as quickly as possible. But if you have someone in the office that you're paying, $15, $20 an hour, maybe even a little bit more, depending on your market. If you're in San Francisco or Boston, you're probably having to pay someone, quite a bit more than that to be in the office. So real quickly, if you can bring in a tool that saves over an hour of their time, you're breaking even. And in that process, you're improving the customer experience, because there's not a waiting period for them to find out that you won't service them. It's an instant thing. There's no hard feelings. And this is sort of the next level of, for years, I have talked to lawn care business owners about having their service areas very clearly above the fold on their website. Above the fold just means above the point where anyone would have to scroll to see it. This is the next level of that. This is the correct way to provide this kind of service to your customers, where they can immediately know whether or not you can take care of them. They're not going to find out in 20 minutes or 3 hours. They can find out right now whether they get to check this off of their to-do list. And the official mascot of Lightspeed Social is wandering up to say hi. Yeah.
Well,
so
what, another thing that I didn't mention is all these requests that come in, whether they're inside your territory or outside your territory, those pins are dropped on a map that on the back end of my service area. So when you are creating your territory, you create a polygon, just like on Google Maps, drop the little pins and create it. But when those start coming in, when you start getting people filling in their address, you collect that information. And so you can actually go back and look and see where you're getting requests. There might be a neighborhood that you could expand to that would still be profitable, that you received maybe 2 or 3 requests there, but you said no. And so you really can collect that information, and maybe every quarter look at it and go, are there opportunities where I could grow? Where do I see a lot of requests coming in? And maybe that's even inside your territory. Where are other neighborhoods or new neighborhoods that I know that are going to be profitable, that I can fit into my route and not overextend myself or spend more money and make more money? Where could I advertise there? So, that's kind of it is a very valuable byproduct, if you will, of information that's collected within your My Service Area account. So, and one other thing that's pretty cool that we just added, I will mention this. So we now are giving our users the ability to create different regions. So like overlap regions. So maybe they fall outside of your territory just a little bit, or maybe you shrunk your core territory and then you build upon that. You could send them to a different pricing page. So let's say that for example, so maybe you have a 5 mile radius. Well, technically you could service, maybe 8 mile radius. Well, you build that 8 mile radius over your 5 mile, and then if they fall into that territory, maybe instead of charging them their $35, maybe they're 50. And so if you send them to pricing pages, so that is something that we're definitely excited about, especially in today's market with inflation, gas prices, and everything that's going on. It's one of those things. Now is the time to go ahead and get things set up for the rest of your year.
Yeah. I think the other thing I wanted to mention is how well this sort of, like dialed in targeting of what you're accepting estimate wise dovetails in with the kind of marketing strategy that we preach on this channel, which is that hyper local, where we're able to really tightly decide what neighborhoods we're hitting. And like Chris was saying earlier, you aren't limited to like zip code targeting, which is what we see a lot of CRMs only go to that level because they're intended to work with businesses that might be, a comma bigger than what your business does. And so this is a tool that is tailor made for people our size. And so that's what I think is so cool about this, is that it's a very specific tool that solves a specific problem. And it's why, like, Chris didn't pay me to be here. When he emailed me about the tool, I was like, whoa, this is going to be something that needs to be on every lawn care website. And I really think that it will start to be on every lawn care website in the next, 5 or so years. It's just the way customers expect to engage with a business that is online.
Yeah. And you made a good point. My service area isn't a CRM, but we've got a little bit of functionality to make it even more valuable. And to your point of being marketing and where it ties in so well with your business, is that if you've got a customer, they can actually upload their clients, and it's going to drop a pin all over, the map that you made. Now, try to go do that in Google, and you're looking up a lot of help, topics for, somebody that's non-technical. I mean, you're trying to make a map. You don't want to enter in every address, individually and go through that. Real simple, you take a Excel file with your customers. You can even denote them or segment them by, bi-weekly, monthly, however, in the lawn care world that, fits your model, and upload them. And then visually on your map go, hey, Cody, we've got this section right over here. We've only got a couple of customers. And do we need to fire those customers, or can we have the bandwidth to grow? Let's look at Facebook marketing in this direct area. Seeing that visually, I mean, me telling you, or one of your clients telling you, hey, we need to look at Ion. You're going, well, what's Ion? Well, that's a neighborhood. But you look on the map and you can visually understand, well, hey, here are all my clients, but we've got this one little pocket of clients over here, and I've got the bandwidth to grow. Let's focus our dollars over here to grow this area.
Yeah. And if you are a current Lightspeed customer and you are wanting to get this on your website, email me and we will work with you to get it put together. This will help our marketing efforts. So there's no kickback or anything here. I will help you get this set up because it will help make our marketing more effective and help us see, are we, is our targeting off from what you actually want? If we're getting a bunch of requests from people outside, we might need to dial things in. So this is like a diagnostic tool and a customer service tool for your business. Chris, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And then we'll have a link to my service area down in the video description so that you can go sign up if you need it for your business.